Are ready? Set?
Shit, you have to clap.
Yes, ready, set. Okay, y'all. Today we have a very, very, very special guest, someone near and dear to my heart, Rashiid. I have known Rashiid since 2017.
Long time.
We've been connected longer than that. I have to say that Rashiid is one of my only true platonic male friendships where the male didn't cross the line in some type of way. So shout out to you for that.
That's a great honor to have.
Yeah,
I
it's a
appreciate
huge
that.
honor. He's the homie, and he's a devoted father, entrepreneur, creator, musician, creative director, right?
lot of hats.
Partner, son, brother, philanthropist,
Yeah.
and mental health advocate,
Yes.
and mentor.
Yes. Wow.
Did I miss anything?
No, that's a lot.
Oh, and he's an athlete. Oh,
Yes. Well, retired now, but
athlete.
You never retire as an athlete.
No, you don't. I was a gymnast, so I'm still a gymnast. And I haven't been a gymnast since I was 16, so still a gymnast. But preparing for you, I was debating, like, should we get him rose petals and I throw them at him? Should I get you a bouquet of flowers?
Okay.
Because I really wanted to give you your flowers.
Wow.
And because I think you're amazing. And I'm going to get emotional. I really rely on you a lot for, like, parenting stuff. As you know, my son doesn't have an active father, and you took him to get his first haircut, and we're still going to the same barber.
Shout out to Malik.
Yeah, shout out to Malik. It'd be crispy. But no, we really rely on you a lot as far as like how you parent your kids, and just how you show up as a dad. I really rely on your insight a lot when I need that male balance. So I want to know what your version of getting your flowers is, so that, you know, like I was like asking my male friend, like, should I throw rose petals at him? And he was like, no.
Yeah, I'm glad you ain't through the rose petals.
Okay, good, but the bitches would, the girls would love, the hoes would love that.
That might be the moment.
Yeah.
Well, one, thank you for that. I mean, the first of all, just being a true friend, I think is, you know, top tier to me. So, and I value your friendship too. Like, I love when we get a chance to just chop it up and catch up.
Same.
And I think what you just did is exactly what I feel like I need, and I feel like what a lot of men need is just for someone to acknowledge it. I think a lot of times we are all taught, especially as men, to be self-sacrificing. And so, you know, to have someone just acknowledge the fact that you're doing what you chose to do is enough.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank
make it
you.
enough. He made it enough.
He made it enough.
Okay, wait, and I just wanted to add that something that I've noticed more as I gotten older is how important it is to have friends that are of the opposite sex who do not have anything to do with romance. Because I feel like that's when you can really learn about the opposite sex, because you have nothing to like necessarily gain. You know, when I was younger, it was like, oh, you have male friends, you have female friends. But now I feel like it's so, because you can't get that from your cousins. It's different. You don't like them like that. You can't get it from a girl that you like, because then your opinion of it is going to be skewed. It's not as honest, you know? So I really like that you guys have that. That's beautiful.
It's truly a blessing, I think, and it's very sadly rare.
Yeah.
I think because both sexes have to be extremely secure with themselves. They also have to be in a space where, like, emotionally balanced.
Yeah.
And balanced in both feminine and masculine qualities. Because we all, if you tell a man, in most cases, like tapping into your femininity, it's kind of like, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? But that's a thing, you know, especially because you have a daughter, you probably get that a little bit more.
1,000%. I mean, I tell people all the time, I hate that it took for me to have a daughter to really mature in the ways that I probably needed to a lot earlier. But it was necessary. And again, there was no man in my life telling me to channel my emotions or ask how I'm feeling. No one cared. Even my uncle and my grandfather, and my stepdad, who I think are the best men in the world, that was never the check-in that I got from them. And honestly, it's not until I tell my brother this all the time. My brother's gay, and he's taught me so much. And I think that the lessons that I learned from him, I would have never learned from a straight man.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary. We all, my son even now, as annoying as it is, have to deal with some of his big emotions. I'm like, he is a little boy trying to figure it out.
And I've seen it. I've seen you
Okay,
deal
so
with
wait,
it.
so teach, because my son got big emotions too, and I be trying to figure it out. So come on, let's get into it.
No, I think the biggest thing is just to I actually just told a woman Saturday night, her son also doesn't have his dad.
Okay.
And he's 13. He's about to be 13. And she's like, he has these really big emotions. And I'm like, well, let him feel them. You know, like allow him to process through it. Like I think there's also a way that you could do it where with me now and Rue, I'm setting the time limit.
Yeah.
All right, you got this long to have this moment, and then we
Okay.
got to move on.
Okay, I like
Okay.
that.
Because I can't deal with just the incessant crying all the time
Right.
either. It does something to my mental.
And I think that as like moms, we relate like some of their emotions now to how they'll be as an adult.
adult,
And that's
yeah.
not fair because
It's
they're
not.
not. They're kids and they're
It's-
trying to manage it. And we be remembering the last bitch ass nigga that we talked to that had that kind of emotion. It's like, no. He's a child. Let him work through it, and then he won't become that man that
I
we're talking
actually
about.
feel the opposite, and I feel that the men in my life have tried to project that onto me. I'm like, he needs to move that through this now, you know, so that when he grows up, he can process that, you know, and he needs a space for that at 2 years old. Like, and I've noticed a lot of the men in my life have been like, well, you know, if he's hitting you now, when he grows up, he'll be 16 hitting women, and I'm like, bro, he's 2. Like,
Right.
relax. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna learn not to hit anybody,
Yeah.
and then we'll learn not to hit women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I have a question that wasn't on the list. I know
Yeah.
I hit you with all the questions
No, it's
so
cool.
that
It's cool.
you could somewhat be prepared. But you know, we rapid fire over here,
Okay.
and we're both 2 single moms, right? And you were raised by a very single mom. What is something? I have 2 questions. So I'm gonna start with the first one.
Okay.
Number 1, what is something that you wish your mother gave you as a single mother? Even if you hold compassion for her around that now and you understand it, what is something that you wish was different growing up? Even if it's nothing.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the biggest thing with my mom, and we've had these conversations, so we've had me going through therapy, I had to address my mom for a lot because the way she remembered my childhood was not how I remembered it.
Oh yeah, they be having it completely fucked up.
And
Grannies.
during the pandemic, actually, we got into it. We
Okay.
had it out.
You told me about
But
that.
I think the biggest thing is just really just allowing me to have space to feel how I was feeling. A lot of my anger, especially as a kid, was not even directed towards her or the situation. It was just, there were so many things that I had questions about that no one discussed. Like they made my dad not being around like the most taboo thing ever. Like no one asked how I was feeling about him. No one asked like, do you think about it? It was like, well, damn, I probably shouldn't talk about this guy either if nobody's bringing it up.
Right.
So I didn't ask that. I never asked about him until I was like 16, 17. And that was because my mom was like, yo, do you think about him? I'm like, hell yeah, I think about him all the time. But no one asked. So I wish she would have just asked me like how I was feeling. And granted, she was 15 when she had me. So she didn't know. But I wish that she at least had the know-how or at least would have been curious about how I was feeling about it outside of her feelings about him.
Wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. I want to share something with you I did with my son recently. My son's father isn't around, but he's around in a way. But my biggest concern was, I think a lot of single mothers, just so you can hold a compassion for your mom a little bit too. I know you have it, but we often feel like we don't want in and out because that's confusing to a child. So normally there's a hard cut. It's like, and your mom at 15 probably didn't have, I don't know if she had this discernment or not, if he just wasn't around, whatever the situation may be. But for me, it was like, hey, bro, you can be here or you cannot be here, but you can't fuck my kid up by being here and not here, because that's, I grew up with my brother's dad that way, being not around. And luckily my brother had, prayerfully my brother had my dad. So one of the things recently I did with my son is we were trying to like FaceTime with his dad, and I'm like, dog, like this just isn't working. He's 3. So I show my son pictures of his dad because he's around other men and he thinks everybody's dad. And he's like, mainly he thinks LeBron James is his dad.
I love that.
I do too, because that's a great dad.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I explained to him that this is your dad, like, and he's like, "That's my dad." Like, yes, this is your dad. and I tell him like, you know, this is your dad. He made you with me, and like that's that, because he has a godfather that is around a lot. And he was like, "That's my daddy," and I'm like, "No, that's God daddy. This is your dad." And so I constantly kind of reinforce that to him. Do you think that's something you would have liked growing up, or you think it would have confused you?
I would have loved that. I didn't meet my dad till I was 33.
Oh wow!
And we look nothing alike. But
Stop.
he's more brown skinned than I am. But we have so many of the same qualities. And I was like, how did this happen? And I didn't even know who he was. So it would have been great to know who he was. Like if I would have saw him walking down the street, I would have never known who he was. Wow. I had no pictures. I literally just knew this man was a name.
You didn't know what he looked like?
I didn't know what he looked like.
So growing up, when you were exhibiting traits, like my son can build things. Yeah. His dad's an engineer. So and he has rhythm. You've seen me dance. It's terrible. But I'm always like, he gets that from his dad because I like to instill that because it's his DNA.
Yeah.
Never was that the case for you. You never. It was just like, so you had parts of yourself that you didn't understand.
100%. I mean, I found out he was an athlete, right? Okay. He ran track. He went to Penn State. So I was like, oh, it makes sense. He went to the same high school I went to.
Okay.
His family lived across the street from me.
Wow.
And I didn't find out any of this stuff until I was in my 20s. So it was crazy. My cousins went to my mom to get their hair done. Like it was, everyone else knew. And I was like, I felt like I was on the outside of some sick joke.
Yeah. Why do I feel like I'm just learning about you as your friend of almost 7 years?
That's what happens when you ask people deep questions. Wow. Something I was going to say, too, is that, my son, he often asks me, me and my ex split up when he was only 1 year old. So he'll see a picture of us together and be like, oh, so you guys all live together because my ex is remarried. So he'll be like, oh, you guys all live together in one big house. And I'm like, no. But sometimes when he asks me questions, he gets upset with me. He'll be like, well, why couldn't you guys make it work? Like, what's wrong? Like, what was and I always say, oh, we just wanted different things or we like different things. He's like, okay, I like crabs and you like shrimp. We eat it together. What's the big deal? Like his mind.
Your son, which is so, like, he would challenge me because he's so emotionally aware and inquisitive.
Yes. But yeah, he is very emotionally aware. And when I talk to other people about it, they be like, girl, tell him to hush, stay in a child's place. But for me, I try to really explain it to him because he really want to know. Like, he really is. And you made a great point of, like, don't hush it away. Like, he really wants to know. He wants to know the ins and outs. He wants to know, like, why he's, and literally so sad. Ugh, it makes me so sad to say this. But I asked him, like, do you want to, like, a wife one day and kids? And he was like, no, because people break up. And I was like, and I mean,
what, Virgo?
Yes.
Okay.
August 26th.
So analytical.
But from his eyes, that's how he really sees it because he looks at it like mommy and daddy are in two different places and I want to be he's a Virgo. He's very routine oriented. He wants things to be his way and he would like for it to be one situation and not back and forth. He hates car rides. He hates going back and forth. Remember, he goes back and forth every week. Yeah. So for him, it's a lot and he would just like, why can't it just be this way? So I think you made a great point of communicating because I think that I try my best, but I try to explain things in a very childlike way, but I sometimes need to explain it in a big way. Sometimes I need to just like go in and be like, listen, what happened was, because I feel like you said, it might be areas where it's like a gap, and now he has these emotions and they're bigger and bigger because he feels like he's not being understood or explained.
No, that was the hardest thing for me to have to go through with my daughter because she goes back and forth every week. She's with me Monday to Fridays with her mom on the weekends. And she told me, like, no one knows how this feels.
It's exhausting.
None of y'all had to do this. And I was like,
I could see her saying that.
I was like, man, like, you know what? You're right. And I had to really take a step back and, like, let her have the moment she was having. And I even asked her, like, well, do you want to stay with your mom? And she's like, well, no, I don't. But, like, this is hard. Yeah, it's hard for me. And I was
oh, my gosh, wow. I forgot something. Author.
Author?
Yeah. I'm giving my friend his flowers.
As you should.
Get the book, y'all. Get the book.
In the bag. This is how he said he wanted them, so we're gonna give it the way he said. We listen. We listen.
Okay. We listen. We don't judge.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I have to do that video.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, and he's an influencer now, guys.
Thanks to you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
I came to Rashiid and I was like, hey, look. One of my favorite things about our relationship is a relationship for creators, for artistics, like innovators and like just people who are change makers in the world requires people to see them and believe in them. Like when you came to me this morning and you were like, I know I don't really want to do a home care business, bitch. I was like, bitch, I knew that. You were like, I actually want to make journals. And I'm like, fuck yes, let's make journals. Make 1,000 of them. Do this type of journal. We need that. So when I come to Rashiid and I'm like, hey, I just got a collab with Turo. I ain't got no money right now. Can I pay you when da-da-da-da-da? He literally, every time I've come to him with like, I got this idea, he comes back to me with so much excitement. And it makes me feel like you don't know how helpful that is because I've come to you at some really fucked up times in my life where come to you at some great times in my life where shit is up, but you're like, I know if you want it, it's gonna hit. So like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
And same with this podcast. So it was like that made us feel really good. But just to ADHD totally flipped the whole script on you. One question I had from you, some of the best fathers, some of the worst fathers I know don't have dads.
Yeah.
Some of the best fathers I know didn't have dads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, like, do you think not having a dad impacted you being the rock star dad that you are? Or do you think, like what's your thought on that? Because, like, my brother is the best father I know. My father other people's kids. The man in my life didn't have a father either. He had a stepfather, and he's an awesome dad. Like, so... What, like, do you think that impacted your journey in fatherhood?
Yeah, I never wanted my kids to feel how I felt. And so once I found that I was having a daughter, which was right before I was supposed to move to LA, actually, I was like, I'm all in. You know what I mean? Me and her mom didn't work out, but we're in a great space now, which I can't wait to talk about that, the co-parenting dynamic at some point. But we're in a good spot. And so, yeah, it was really just about me not wanting to repeat the same cycles. I told my dad when I met him that this cycle of dads not being in their kids' lives, it ended with me.
Oh, I know that's right.
I didn't want kids for a long time because I was the oldest. So, you know, being the oldest, I showed it a lot. Yeah, I was. My brother and sister used to tell me Happy Father's Day. That's how much I was with them. And no shade to my mom or my situation. She got married to my stepdad. They got divorced twice. And I was the oldest. My mom needed help. So I had to step into that role. So I didn't want kids. And
1 second, I had a lot of Botox, so I can't raise. You didn't see me raising my eyebrows when you said divorced twice.
Yeah, to the
got
same
married
guy.
twice and divorced
Married and
twice.
divorced twice. Same
Are
guy.
they not together anymore?
They are not together anymore. He is remarried. She's remarried, and they're both happy now.
Okay.
But they were. I say this all the time. They were a cool ass couple to be around. Like, they were so much fun together.
Listen,
Like,
we don't judge.
they were cool as hell. I mean, they had their issues. I know the story, so I won't do that to either of them. But it is what it is. It didn't work out, and we got some good humans from it. So it's cool.
Was he a father figure to
He
you?
was a father figure to me. James came into my life when I was in first grade.
Okay.
They were together. We moved to Virginia Beach. We moved to California. He was in the military, so it was cool to have him as a dad. He also was an athlete. He played football. He went to Northeast, which he probably should have went to Central, but yeah, it's an ongoing rivalry we have.
Hey,
Right.
can I ask you a question? Because, like, I'm gonna be real. In my book, all right, the exit plan, I talk about how the first feeling of hatred that I've ever felt in my body was towards my brother's dad, Eddie. And I, like, everyone in my family's over it, and they've forgiven him. I have not forgiven him because I watched him make plans with my brother and then not show up for those plans. And so I want to two-piece him still to this day because, like, my brother's awesome, you know? Did you want to square up with your dad?
Yeah, when we met, and he started making it about him.
And did he try to shit on your mom?
No.
Oh, wow.
He didn't try. He said that he admitted that he fucked up. Like, he was like, you know, but he made it about him not having his dad around, and he didn't, you know, want to cause more trouble. He always had my back if I needed him.
And you were already an active father at that point.
Yeah. And I was just like, my daughter was with me.
Yeah.
Actually, when I met him, and he's the person that he's always been.
Yeah.
And I gave him the space and grace to, like, show up and try to be different. But it is what it is. And one thing my uncle always told me was, you know, yeah, you didn't have your dad, but think about all the things that you didn't pick up from him. You know what I mean? Like, if he's this type of person, listen, I hope he's doing well. I know where he is. But he's like, imagine all the things you didn't pick up from him. Like, he's not even the type of dad you want to be.
No.
Next time I want to insult somebody, I'm just going to be like, I know where you are.
Ooh,
I know where you are.
I know where you are.
I know where you are. I see where you are. Because that was
I'm
a
a fucking square up with you
I know
in
where you
Jesus'
are.
name.
And listen, his family, I will say this, his family has been, like, his brother just called me the other day. A lot of my cousins, like, they came to my crib and, like, kicked it with me. Like, they've tried to establish a relationship with me at this point, which if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I know I did my part. Like I did what I needed to do to make peace with it, and I've been able to move on.
Love it.
Okay. All right, so let's switch gears into the romantic stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the girls are here, and one thing about women is that we always want to know how men feel, and we always want to know what's in your brain, especially when we encounter a man that we think is a good man. You know what I mean? And I think that
He's a good man, Savannah. You're a good man.
Just for the ladies, I want ladies to keep in mind, because one thing I did when I ended my largest relationship, I would always say to myself, there's no point of leaving this relationship if I'm going to keep attracting the same thing or keep going into the same situation. So I said to myself, okay, let me envision the man that I want, and let me also envision what type of woman that he would want. Because you like, oh, I'm gonna give me a better man, I'm gonna get da-da-da, but then like, who are you? Like, what do you give that would make that man want you? Okay, so give me some green flags for women.
Green flags for women. Thoughtful. I think someone who's caring.
Okay.
For me, I love a sense of humor. Like if we can't laugh, it's a
Yeah.
dub. Goal oriented. Like you got to know where you're going. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I actually talked to my homies about this. Like, what are y'all looking for? And that's like the one that comes up the most.
Even with your friends?
Even my friends.
Okay.
It's like we're all trying to get somewhere. And so it's like either you're going to have your own plan or you're going to get dragged along by ours. And that's only going to cause resentment in the end. So it's better for you to have your own, and it don't have to be the same type of goals, but just something that you want for yourself.
Can I say something about that? As as an ambitious woman?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just never turn off.
Yeah.
But I feel like often men want me to just like, my brain is just like, you know what I mean? Like even when I meet ambitious men.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time, that I want a woman that knows where she's going. But then when I'm actually with a man and I know where I got the vision, you know that? And I'm not a ride or die. I'm where we're going, what we doing, what time we got to be there, all of that stuff. But I often feel like men want that. Is it just the wrong men?
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, I think that if you want that because you also have a plan.
Yeah.
And so either this is my plan. I'm either going to let you in on my plan and you ride with me, or we got to build one together.
Okay.
But that's one thing that I mean, even with Sean, my partner now, I was like,
She's beautiful.
if we're not, if we don't,
Can we put a picture of Sean right here?
we could put a picture of Sean here.
Look at her.
If we don't have a plan about where we're going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like we can't just keep, running around in circles. Like we got to figure out and make sure it's aligned, because if I want to go somewhere you don't want to go, that's okay too. But we just got to make that clear and not just keep, being in the same boat.
And I think that, Mo, you have to remember too that everybody's like, I remember when I was in love with this man, child, and he was the type that he could have built a hut in Costa Rica and lived there for the rest of his life. He was very low maintenance, very chill, and we just didn't align. I think it's about being with someone who is goal oriented as well.
Yeah.
Because if they're goal oriented as well, then it's like, okay, this is what I want because that's how you are.
Right.
Whereas there's other people who are, and it's no shade to them, because somebody gotta be chill.
Somebody
Gotta be. I almost think that it's almost a positive thing sometimes when people are content with what they have.
Yeah.
You're content. It's just not my lane. That's not my lane. I'm always going to climb.
Right.
But it is no shade to them. It's just not for me. I also think that it's also about sometimes a man that can teach you something. He feels like he can teach you something. He feels like he can pour into you. And if a man's goal sight is like a little bit not like it has a ceiling, or if it's not as far as you, sometimes men do you think that men can be intimidated sometimes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of times where if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to date up, so to speak. You're going to stay in your lane or date with someone that you feel comfortable with, because you don't want to be embarrassed, or you don't want to be the guy that, like, when you pull up to family functions, it's like, oh, what do you do? And then you already know you got somebody that's out here killing it. Or you got to be okay with your role and then just be able to help.
For me, I think I'm coming to the point where I like, you're okay with your role. I've been looking into I've been talking to, oh my gosh, my partner about what the Can you believe that?
You're such a man, girl.
I'm not a man. I am very masculine. I'm like dainty and feminine, size
It's
0
my
2.
man. Get
Shut
over
up.
it. Get over it.
Shut up. All right. Fucking annoying.
Girl. No, because don't act like you didn't just see his text and get all glowy. So
I did.
You heard about the plans already.
Okay. All right. Anyway, y'all. All right. So I've been on and off with this man for 2 years since I moved back, and I took a hiatus for the crash out that y'all watched previous, but there's an amazing man in my life, like incredible, and we bring different things to the table. He's definitely like more grounded, and we got into an argument recently, and I want to share it with y'all. And he knows that I'll probably share this. So I'm a social media specialist. I'm a guru, and he's an amazing, incredible artist. He also has a very great 6-figure paying job that's pension, union, all of the things. And he asked me for an opinion on a piece of his art. And I was like, yeah, but you need to do this because it'll reach a wider audience. And if you do this, you'll do blah, 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 blah. And he was like, I don't want to reach a wider audience. And I felt like the devil wears Prada. Everybody wants to reach a wider audience. And I'm like, you're going to go with a publisher this time for your book. You don't da 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 da. And he's like, nah, like I want to make sure my art remains my art. And I crashed the fuck out. Like I was just like, what do you mean? We want to make money and we want to sell and capitalism and, you know, all of the things. And he was like, I just want my art to get into the right people's hands so that they have it because I have a job. And he was like, sometimes, like as my partner, I just want you to tell me what you think of my art. And I was like, oh my God, wow. And I was like, damn, okay, yeah. Well, I think it's actually fire. Like it's a really, really good piece of art. And I was like, but as your partner, I want you to know that if you ever want to make this shit hit and get to the fucking bag, I can help you do that, you know? So this relationship has really helped me. All of my relationships in my life, other than the crash out one that y'all watch, have been less about finances and more about like true equally yoked. Equally yoked means in our society we have made equally yoked mean something that it's not. It means that we both have a house, we both have a car, we both have a 401k plan, we both have an ebook to sell an ebook and all the shit, right? But really what equally yoked is that, you know, you are the creative and the planner. Sean is, I don't give a fuck. I'll go drive this car. I'll go do this. She is also the packing lunches, the playing with the kids. She's really an amazing mother to both of the children. And she's patient and like nurturing and ultra feminine and sexy and beautiful. And
Much more patient than me.
Yes, much more. I've seen it. And so I think that equally yoked means that you bring something, I bring something, and together we bring this equally yoked situation. And I think that that's not talked about enough in our modern world.
You said it in the first episode that what you give, you don't always need in return. Right. And so, and that stuck with me. Like I've thought about that so many different times, and I think it's the same thing. Like I don't need you to show up the same way I do. I just need you to be the best at whatever it is you do. And I think we can be cool after that. But I need to also know what that best is so I can count on, okay, I know you're going to take care of this.
Can I ask you, what do you think that is for both the mothers of your children? Because he a part of the 2 baby mama group.
Yes, I am. Which, Jazz, we knew each other 6 months before she got pregnant.
Wow.
We were traveling a bunch. We were having a good time. And then, boom, she got pregnant. Sean I knew for a little while. So it was a very different dynamic with both of them.
And
but
Jazz is
Hendrix's mom. Yeah.
And
Sean is Rumi's mom. And again, we have a great co-parenting situation now that took years to get to, but here we are. And your question was, what
is their strong point?
Their strong points? Jazz is very meta. Okay. Like there are a lot of things that she's like, it's cool. I feel like I'm very much like, okay, we gotta get this done. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. She's very chill. Sean is like right in between both of us. Sean is very type A, but again, she's very type A. But she also does have a lot more patience with the kids at times than I do. No, I think we have. It's different moments. I think that's the beauty of having 2 parents or 2 people in the house is like sometimes you got it and I don't have it, or sometimes I got it and you don't have it. But it's great when we're able to kind of bounce off of each other and be like, or even tap each other in. Because there are times when Rue was real small where I had to be like, all right, you know what, I give up. You got it. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Like the kids want me at night to go to sleep. They want me to read to them every night. They want me to wash them up. They want me to. They're out to bed. Okay, they're sleeping in their they're sleeping in their own rooms or in the same room with each other. Okay. But I think they both bring that to the table. And Sean is also just very nurturing. Like you said, like she's a nurturer. And so watching her mom, I was like, I got it. I see where she gets that from. And Jazz is just kind of, on her own time. Like
she's like 5D.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no one speeding her up. There's no one slowing her. She's gonna do things in her time
unbothered.
and 100%.
I love.
100%.
I like that.
So I think it's a good mesh. Like there's a bunch of great adults in their lives that they get what they need from all of us.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful that y'all can have that relationship where you can admire the positives in all three. I think that's so beautiful because I think that when you have two baby moms or two women that you've had children with, sometimes that's the hardest part is like everybody's trying to like, oh, I would do that better, or she would do this better, or the child is better because of this, because of this. Like, baby, we all just trying to raise these kids.
Also, I
Like,
just want to
everybody
say,
tired.
also, y'all know if I hit this voice, it's about to be some ratchet shit. I just want to say I would much rather be a part of the two baby mama, two baby daddy crew. Like, I don't give a flying fuck about having matching baby daddies. I care about having a healthy ecosystem for my family.
Right.
And I've seen people stay together or have more kids because they want more kids
With just that one person.
with just that one person.
Right.
And it's not that deep. Like,
Right.
I think that having a bunch of love and health in the family, because like, this is the thing I want to, like, for those out there that are like, you know, praying to only white Jesus and like, you know, like being like very buttoned up and like the family, the nuclear, you know, and I'm all fan of the nuclear family, like love it. And everything in our lives looks different, right? Than our parents were, right? Money is different.
1,000%.
Our parents could not send each other money from their phones.
Right.
Like our parents couldn't, there weren't as many genders as there are now. You get what I mean? It wasn't the opportunity for in vitro and, you know, all these different ways to develop a family. So a family now needs to look like what a family is for you.
Yeah.
So that's what's important.
Listen,
All right, so
I'm about to say, even in so much as when Jazz told Sean, like, thank you for the role that she's played in Henny's life, I was like, man, we doing something
y'all
right.
are doing,
you know what I mean?
no,
Like,
that's amazing.
she sort of thing. And then she even got us something for Christmas. It was something small, but it was like, you know, she recognizes the sacrifices that are made because it's a lot. You know what I mean? She does cheer in Jersey. There's this, there's that. And so they're texting each other and talk to each other on the phone. And she's like, oh, you already talked to Jazz. I'm just like, oh, shit. Like,
But that speaks to
I
you
would
for
have
real.
never.
No,
I
it's
would've
because
never-
because you're the middle person in between the two, and they both clearly have a level of security and understanding with you and with each other, and that's fostered by the man. Come on, man.
Yes, come on,
That's
man.
that's a leader.
I mean, I
Okay.
think it
So,
also
wait. So now we have entrepreneur, mega dad, leader, author, creative director, peacemaker.
Come on, flowers.
Come on, flowers.
Come on,
I
flowers.
appreciate it.
All right, so I
love
want to
this
get into
exercise.
these questions that I thoughtfully wrote out.
Okay.
And you know, you can say plead the fifth on anything. All right, because they're real deep, and I know we're friends, but I go a little deep here.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so can you share?
Are these new questions?
I don't know. You know, I'm impulsive. I'm impulsive.
Okay.
Can you share a moment where you felt undervalued?
I think as men, we're undervalued a lot, almost daily.
Okay.
I don't, and I say this all the time, there's so much that is on, at least I carry a lot on my shoulders, trying to make sure our bills are cool, trying to make sure I'm present for the kids, trying to make sure they got what they need. It's a lot. And I know there are a lot of times that like I'm at events with my homies and I find myself talking to the moms because my experience is very similar to theirs. Like I'm at activities. You know, Sean cooks a lot, but I still cook. And like it's like all the things that I do, I'm doing bath time. It's like, damn, like I'm in the kitchen talking with them. Cause I'm like, that experience resonates. So I think that for a long time, I was like, yo, people don't understand what this is, like how this is and how I'm trying to show up, and the toll that it was taking on me. And so I felt like I was undervalued a lot at the beginning with trying to, you know, navigate how to be a dad and still find time for myself, especially when me and Sean were together. Because we had a stint where we weren't together for a couple years. And so I had both the kids and was like, I felt like a single mom.
You were like you were. I had just moved back.
Yeah.
During that time,
yeah.
that was early 23.
Early
Early
2025 now.
Yeah, it was early 23, and I remember that because like And it was you were very much giving single mom black truck energy, like where the fucking backseat of the car had crumbs everywhere,
Yeah,
like
it was
because
definitely
dad cars be clean, all the things, and I saw it, like,
Yeah.
and especially showing up in a way that you weren't used to, like we're not used to, that you had never seen.
Yeah, no, I definitely had never seen that.
Yeah.
I never saw dad. I never saw dads doing what I was doing.
And single, and did it give you a little bit more empathy for your mom?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, I think just being in it and being able to like understand it, I'm like, damn, like they gotta get washed up. They need food. We gotta make sure they dress. Trying to do I was doing my daughter's hair. Thank God she could wear her hair curly a lot, but it was a challenge.
Yeah.
So, what are some ways that you would have felt valued, or what are some ways that you do feel valued? Like, what can the person in your life, the women in your life, do to help with
Yeah,
that?
honestly, I say it all the time. If I just need help lightening the load, and that can just be like Sean woke up this morning. I was up till 6 this morning working, like finishing proposals, doing all that. She got up. She had like took care of the stuff in the crib and took Rue to school. And so I was like, damn, like those things mean a lot to me because it just frees me up to kind of just do what I do. And I was like, thank you. And it doesn't need to happen all the time, but just once in a while, I'm like, look, can you just get them to school? Like, I'll do it the rest of the week. I'll do it whenever you need me to, but I need today. And so just being able to have that time is important, especially for as a creative. Like, I just need time to just kind of process what I'm going through.
Especially because as creatives, our hours are different. I would like to, for our new viewers here, I would like to like remind them or let them know and inform them that you are the primary parent. Like the week, like no, like just like clarity wise, you have your daughter more.
Yeah, Monday to Friday. She goes back to her mom on Friday.
Yeah, so you have her Monday through Friday. So all of the weekly things are you.
Are us.
And that is normally a dynamic that we don't really hear of that often,
Yeah.
And that was like a choice that you two made together. Is not because that in itself is like, I don't want to say an anomaly or groundbreaking, but it's rare, like especially in our black community.
It
like,
speaks to the man that you are, though.
Yeah, it speaks to that.
We got her into a better school. I was driving 3 hours a day to take her to school in Jersey.
That's crazy.
And I was like, look, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year. And then I was like, if I can get her into a school in Philly, she could just come stay with me. I got you on that. And so she got into school, and then she was like, cool. And just to watch her flourish the way she has, it was the right decision. And so I'm grateful that, her mom even trusted me enough to, see that like, I'm doing what's best for her. It's not even about me or you. There's no ego involved. I just want her to have the best possible shot she has.
Beautiful.
Okay, so what are some of your turn-offs with women? And this can mean anything. If you want to get spicy, I'm down with that as well. But what are your turn-offs in women?
The biggest turn off, I was actually talking to my homies about this too when I saw the questions. And I was like, I can't stand getting in a woman's car. It's just disgustingly dirty. Like it's a huge turn off for me.
Because like you're not talking about like just some stuff on the seat. You're talking about like crud in the seats.
Stuff that you left there and like you just
like you got a plate in there.
Yeah. Like listen,
give some examples because I have a 3-year-old.
No, listen, no, I got you. Like
but my seats are white and I keep them white. So.
But I also know the type of person that you are.
Okay.
So
I get what you mean.
I'm not walking. Your home doesn't look like that.
Oh, I don't play that shit.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
You walk into somebody's car, you don't know, so you be thinking like, oh, this go how her house going to look.
Yeah. So like, especially like if I'm most times I don't.
I was not ready for that response.
Yeah, most times I don't even see. When I was dating, I didn't see anyone's car because I was just picking them up or sending them a car. We don't just meet somewhere else. So that wasn't necessary. But if I do get in your car and it's disgusting, that's an immediate turn for me.
You're not going to send her car to go get clean? You're like,
no, I would clean it. I would clean it. I would get it clean once. If she comes back in a week and it's trash again, then there might be a pattern here.
You're a pretty tidy guy in general.
That's my mom though.
Yeah.
Like my mom wasn't playing that.
Most men who were raised by single moms are really tidy.
Oh, that's nice. That's good to know.
Yeah, no, it's very true.
My mom wasn't playing that. And then we was doing my own laundry, making sure I could cook for myself, like all those things. I'm like, she
Life
did her
skills.
job. Yeah. I mean, when I see you doing it with soul, I was like, yo, this is amazing.
Okay, I have to share something with you. My dad, he's Southern. I love him to death. Daddy, hey. He's probably going to watch this. But recently, my dad has been helpful tremendously financially with my son. But he's not really around my son a lot like that because he lives in Arizona.
Okay. I love Arizona.
And I feel like he has that. Me too. I feel like he has this, but I won't raise my child there. It's too white. So he's like, has this concerned that I'm gonna like make my son feminine, and it's weird to me because he was raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
And he's really the only person. There's some other men that are like that, but men who are around my son are like that. Here's the thing. I love the gays. Like, I love the gays. I got a lot of love for the gays. And I just feel like you're born that way.
Yeah,
You can't make somebody gay. And 80% of the world that are like of the like cooking industry, chefs, restaurants, they're men. It's a male dominated field.
For sure.
My son loves cooking. Like, he's really into it. I actually had to learn how to cook. I'm learning how to cook because my son is so interested in being in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, my dad was like, what do you guys want for Christmas? I was like, I don't want anything. I want to buy my son a functional kitchen. You've seen them, right? Where they have like mini air fryers. They're expensive as fuck. And they have like conduction stoves, all that. So I'm saving up to get my son this expensive ass kitchen. And my dad was like, you're ruining my grandson. And it took everything, being the modern feminist that I am, not to crash out and be like, yo. But I calmly was like, Dad, cooking is a life skill. Laundry is a life skill. And then I kind of shaded my mom because she's not the best cook. She's more of a baker. Like, my dad was more of my mom can cook things, but my dad is like, could burn.
Right.
And I was like, Dad, you cooked for us our whole life. But I feel like because I'm a single mom, it's just this, like, you're going to make your son soft or feminine. And I want to know your thoughts on that, like, with letting your child play with, like, feminine toys, like, all of it. Especially as someone who has a gay brother who you spend a lot of time with.
My brother was always gay. There were pictures that I look at, and I'm just like, why didn't anyone, like, just be like, yo, I get it, bro. I get it.
I'm not arguing with anybody about
No,
that.
he's always known he was gay. It's very, my son, of course, when he was little, my daughter was my daughter's his best friend.
Yeah,
Like there's no,
much.
he loves her. He's like, when is she coming home? Like, that is his dog. And she loves him too. And so there'd be times where he would be in her room with them and he's playing, and it took everything in me not to be like, yo, he can't play with that doll. Now, granted, it was like the Wakanda warrior doll, but it was a doll. And I was just like, I'm not going to be that guy because I know that's not the case. My son, and I was like, I hate when kids sexualize kids or adults sexualize kids. Like, oh, you know, he like her, he like this. There is this one little girl that he does like, and that he was like, she was on FaceTime, and he was like, hey, bring that here. Let me, and I was like, bro, you gotta chill. But also,
that shit from you.
but I was also like, wow, like like you were saying, you can't. Those are things that are just, it's in him. He just saw it and he was like, oh. I'm like, oh, you like her? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what do you like? What does that mean to you? He's like, I don't know, but he knows that he's drawn and attracted to her for some reason. Now he's been around a bunch of girls. He's never reacted that way, but for this one girl, he did. And I was just like, oh, okay, wow. So I let him play with his sister, and she plays with him. My daughter's probably rougher with him than his friends. But it is what it is. Like, he's played with her dolls. He's in there helping his mom cook, and I'm like, great, because that's me. You know, like, he's also in there helping me cook. He's also seeing it. And so I think that's just a misnomer. I think that's just some old ass.
I think some old head shit.
I just feel like there is no gender roles in things that you need in life.
Yeah.
Like, I need to cook.
You need to cook.
Like,
you
I need to clean.
And I feel like that is weaponized incompetence when a man is like, I can't make an egg. You get what I mean?
Yeah, like, come on.
I just feel like and also I feel like men are really good at cleaning in many cases, because
I grew up the same way. My dad is the cleaner and the cooker. My dad was the
iron. My dad ironed all the laundry, and he had starch.
Yeah.
Like,
my
dad,
is a
knock it
military
off.
guy. My dad is a military guy. So like, there was no creases in the bed.
Yeah.
Like, he was very like,
structure.
Things had to be a certain way. Whereas my mom is more lackadaisical. She chilling.
Same.
So I think that for me, people did the same thing for me. And my son, I bought him a cooking set when he was that age. I bought him. He used to always try to grab the broom and sweep, but of course he can't hold it. So I bought him a little.
I got little
set.
stuff like that too.
For me, there's certain things that I listen to people with, and there's certain things that my ears just go off, because I feel like there are certain things that are just about me and my son, and we're not going to discuss it, because this is like. Also, I also feel that, like you said, like, my son is he's a very masculine child. I don't have any questions or concerns in that area. But even if I did, I don't think that me buying him a cooking set is going to change.
Me either.
That's the least of your worries.
I think that I'm still such a new parent. Like, my son is 3 years old, and his father was very opinionated. And I'm just getting to the place now where recently, like, my son, is mentally gifted. So I'm finding that out because he can't test yet, but I'm finding that out through educators who spend time with him, sitters, and just him doing math in front of my face and him building a puzzle for a 9-year-old and things like that. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, am I supposed to do with this? So his father, his biological father, has been like, from the beginning, like always very judgmental. And that's something that I've had to really work through. And I'm really proud of myself because recently he was like, how is he? And he was like, I was like, he's mentally gifted. I just found out. And he was like, I have some gestures for him. And I said, you can make absolutely no suggestions at this time. You don't know him. You haven't seen him since he was 7 months old. You can send money and prayers, thoughts and prayers, checks and prayers.
No,
Thank you.
But that was really hard for me to get to that point because there's just so much like trauma there, so much background there, and like a lot of people talk about single moms, but they don't talk about what made the person a single mom.
Okay.
Like the person that made the person a single mom. So let's switch gears. I want to talk to you. So we talked about your turn offs.
Was there any more turn offs?
I mean, the crib is probably second to that. If I
dirty
come into a dirty house, those are
I don't
now
like-
a dirty bathroom. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving immediately. I'm not even staying.
So let me
Or
ask you
sheets. They're like sheets.
Yeah.
Like your sheets gotta be clean.
Let me ask you this though, because I think that we have this like misconception, and women talk about this a lot in terms of like natural hair and like natural faces and like how women come off. Like sometimes people say all the time, like women, we do some of like the makeup and the lashes and the bust downs. We do that for us. Do you, as a man, do you feel that any of that resonates with men? Not just you, but your friends. Like, do y'all talk about stuff like that?
I mean, Sean used to tell me all the time that women get dressed for other women.
We do.
Because, you know, y'all hype them up in a different way. But it also made me more cognizant of it. So, like, now it's like, oh, when I see it, I'm like, all right, I got to say something. I'm not going to say like my brother might say it, or I'm not going to say like her friends might say it. But I'm going to make sure she knows that I think she looks good. And now I recognize the time that she put into looking that way. But, yeah, I think there was just, I mean, we grew up in some weird times. Like, I'll be 37 next month. And, like, I feel like I have to unlearn all of the shit that I was taught. Like, I feel like there's so much stuff that we were taught as little young men and boys coming up that was just completely fucking wrong. Okay. And so I'm like retraining myself while still trying to show up and, you know, be there for her in those same ways. And we just didn't have the tools, and there's no excuse.
What do you mean by that? Because you were raised in the Aaliyahs.
We were raised.
BBLs.
No BBLs. I mean, I think that is my preference. I would prefer a natural body.
I think that most men do.
Yeah.
I think that men. I might get trashed for
No,
this.
but that's what I want. That's why I'm asking.
Now,
about.
I have seen some women though that have had BBLs, and I'm just like, wow, I would have never known.
Right?
Yeah.
I just think when they just look disproportionate, like, look, do whatever you want to your body. It's none of my business. But that is what I prefer a natural body.
Can I interject real quick? Just tell me if I'm wrong, and I might get drugged by the internet for this, but they like to drag me anyway. So I feel like men look at those kind of women, sleep with those kind of women, be in those kind of women's DM, but they don't marry and really date those type of women.
It's very few men that I know that actually do. I know a couple, but again, you would never know that they got done. Or if they did, they're also like very tasteful, like little stuff here and there, which I'm like, you know, do your thing. But
I'm talking the exaggerated.
yeah, the exaggerated. Yeah. I personally haven't seen anybody date.
If I didn't have no kids, I would get a skinny BBL like that. I just am scared because I'm the only parent. But I would get.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look good. There's something I think look great, but that's just not my preference.
I only say that because I think that like when we look at ourselves, we're such hard critics. Literally, we was just in a room and, you know, she naked and, you know, we get naked in front of each other. And she's like, oh, this. And I'm like, girl, your body is banging. Meanwhile, she's saying, and she's saying the same thing to me, like, girl, that ass. And I'm like, oh, but I need to lose it. You know, so I think that we obsess about that. And men are just like, hubba. Like, they don't even look at it the way that we do.
Even
but we obsess over it.
She says stuff and I'm like, yo, you gotta relax, bro. Like, you look great. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, I have a question. I'm new to this whole like being in a grounded relationship thing, right? How do you like keep this sexy with like kids and stuff like that? Like, is it hard? Do men care? Because I feel like women are so romantic and men are just like, let's
bring that ass or no? We can go to sleep too.
With the t-shirt.
I mean, we can definitely go to sleep.
Like, do you care about like lingerie? Do you care about that shit? Like,
Yeah, I think.
is it just the effort or is it just the?
No, there are times where it's like, all right, yeah, yo, you put that shit on. But then there's also times where it's like, it really does not fucking matter. Like when you know we got about 2 hours before somebody wake up and they start coming for and make sure the door is locked because the kids are probably gonna try to run up in here. So, yeah, nah. I mean, I think at this point with 2 kids, it's like you just trying to figure it out and try to find space and time for it. We even like joked around, like, all right, we're gonna have sex every day for a month straight. And then we were like, we got like 2 days in and it was like, yeah, I'm tired. Are you tired? All right, cool, we good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning. And I work late. So the kids go to bed and I'm typically up till 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. So it's like I have to force myself to go to bed. And then even after, I'm like, I could get back up and like get back to work. Like I wanna keep working, but it's challenging.
Okay, so another thing before we jump into these questions, and they're gonna come like rapid fire because of time. All right, so for warming up the oven for me, right? And you know what the oven is, right? Mm-hmm. The other day, my man cleaned my countertops, like with the circles. Ooh. I said, my man, oh my God, it's so annoying. I hate this for me. So
I love that for you.
Shut up.
This is great.
Oh God. I hate how I am when I like someone. So he cleaned my countertops. Ooh. He went out in the snow and got my favorite food, like in the snow. Cleaned off my car, let me nap while my child because they have their own bond outside of me. Like while my child and him hung out, I woke up and it was my first nap in 2.5 years, y'all. Then he, what else did he do? He did all that, got my favorite snacks, got me orange roses, which are my favorite, literally from the grocery store. And I'm like, bitch, are your standards low? Like, and it was like, no, you just really are. Like, this is literally like those, and like a date, like a poppin' ass date for me was like, we went to the mall and like without Soul, and I got Cinnabon, and I got to pick out like a couple pieces from Forever 21 and like kick it, and we like sat in the Tesla and watched a movie, and it was just like that. Those things are like going to him being like coffee.
Okay, so non-sexual
things are those warm up. Do those things do it for you?
Women, I know that I'm sure you've heard this before, but women, sex to us is an all day thing.
It's an all day thing.
It's like an all day. It's the flirtation. It's the good morning, baby. How are you? It's the did you eat lunch yet? Here's $15.
I got you your bubbly beverage.
Like it's for us, it's an all day thing, and it's the same thing. Like when I see a man hold the baby, and don't hold the baby with one hand.
Don't hold the baby with one hand.
Meet me in the back.
In the back at nap time.
How would you like it?
Yeah, that's funny.
I've literally done I'm not even gonna do it. I've done the symbol. Like after I'm like,
for real. Like a man that really like, it's the manly things. Like anything that you could take off my plate, and I know that it's not a burden for you. Because if you complain the whole time, then never mind. You know. Yeah. But if you take it off my plate and you're glad to do it, I am going to eat you like you're on my plate.
Yeah, and
you understand me?
I want to let the men out there that are listening to this understand that. Like I am a bachelor's degree nurse, prepared. I'm smart as fuck. I can build a website in 20 minutes. Yeah. But I don't want to change the fucking water filter ever. Like I don't even want to know. I don't know how to work the map on my car. Yeah. And I'm like,
but that's why there's gender roles, and I don't want to hear it.
I don't care.
Why there's gender roles, because we're supposed to play a different, and not necessarily gender roles, but just roles in a relationship where we're supposed to compliment each other. Okay, so now you.
So now you go. I want to hear this.
Non-sexual turn-ons, because we want to know. I'm sure it's not holding a baby with one hand.
It's not holding a baby with one hand. I do like when Sean brings me like my food, like when she brings me, when I'm sitting down, and it's not something that like I'm asking for. It's not something that she has to do, but I do appreciate when she does that, because it seems like there's just another layer of thought, you know what I mean, to it, and so that's a big one for me. I love that.
I also think that's like ancestral, cultural, all of the things. Like, did you make his plate?
Yeah,
and not that like I need it to happen all the time, but it is cool, you know, when it does happen. I also like when Sean, you know, because I'll grab stuff for her, like, oh, I think she likes this. When she does that to me, and like she'll come home with something, like she bought me a pair of pants the other day. I was like, oh shit, I really like these pants. I got compliments on them pants like every day.
You know why?
And I was like,
Because you felt like that nigga in them pants.
probably.
Energy changed you was in that
And it's stuff like that I'm like, oh, she's thinking of me. You know what I mean? Like those are the things that like make me feel like, damn, like, you know, she really got my back. She on my team.
So it's not wiping the counters clean.
No. We got Mara. Mara cleans the house. So
what about communication? Like the babies, or like if you hear your woman talk about you and she's like, my man. Like, does that stuff matter?
no, that definitely matters. I mean, again, I told y'all earlier, like the acknowledgement of the thing or just being grateful for the thing is enough. And so when she's like bigging me up, you know what I mean? Or like I hear her on the phone with her friends, I'm just like, not even if she's talking to me, sometimes, you know, I just catch a little. I'm just like, oh shit, all right, she did notice that. Or you know what I mean? Like those things matter. Or like when I know that she stole my air fresheners out my car and they're in her car and she's like, oh, this smells good. I'm like, yeah.
Dad cars be so clean though.
Yeah, no. I mean, you know what? That's one thing that I do love about Shanta. Her car was immaculate. No matter what kind of car she had, I was like,
so you value hygiene and
hygiene is top tier for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I value that in men too. Like if I go to a man's house and like my TV's currently on the floor and I hate that for me, but Grace, I just moved in.
Yeah.
If like it's just like, do you have an entertainment center? Like, is it clean? Like those kind of things. But
so I got the house decorated. So like I couldn't wait for people to get to my house. I'm like, do you know? Yeah, like I worked with a decorator. We went through like all the pieces. Most of the pieces we had already chosen. But you know, she helped us like kind of put stuff together. Like that stuff matters to me. Like I think it's also the creative side. Like I like putting it together.
Living with your mom.
For sure. One thing I said with my mom, because my mom has also lost 150 pounds or something like that, 170 pounds. She was always fly. Like she always made sure that like
his mom. Did you know his mom's like an influencer?
Yeah.
Not like she's a public figure.
Yeah, I met her.
Yeah, she's a public figure.
So, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I watched her do it, and I was like, oh yeah, I love that. All of us are like that though. Like we all kind of like have our own.
You come from
swag.
a really successful and creative family.
No, for sure. Shout out to my grandpa. He was the first one.
So, with all that you manage, what are your outlets?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I hate that I'm about to admit this on the internet's 2K.
Okay.
I play 2K with my homies. I love playing 2K still. And then the gym. Like I was heavy. I was husky for a while. So being able to get back into shape and like honoring my body again is like, it's the best.
I love that.
I can see 2K though, because it's something to take your brain off of everything else. Like you can't focus on anything else.
Nah,
yeah.
that's most.
It's escapism. Yeah, essentially.
It is.
And I noticed you said homies. One of the things I noticed about you is that you have a supportive group of male friends. Like you have a community. So would you say that they're your outlet?
They are. I was saying this. We need our friends. We need time with our friends. It's not like just a group chat thing. We need to see each other in real life because we need that time together.
Okay, last two. What do you recommend for men and mental health?
Go to therapy. I think therapy was probably
Say it louder.
Go to therapy.
Go to fucking therapy.
Therapy was the best decision of my entire life. It has actually changed even the trajectory of my life. I mean, I never thought I'd be getting asked to speak about mental health and stuff like that. So therapy is monumental. I can't wait for my kids to go.
Love it.
Can't wait for my kids to go.
And since last and final question, since 85% of our viewers are women and they're watching this, how can we as women, particularly black women, take better care of our men?
Ooh, just be there. Be there and like honestly give them the space to like process. I think a lot of times when we process, it's like something wrong. It's like a lot of times we really are just like, at least for me,
If you quiet.
I am just processing. I'm thinking like, okay, we in this situation, like how do I find a way out of this and where do I go from here? So just give men space to like process what they got going on and then just be there for what the answer is without unsolicited opinions.
And also making it about us.
Yeah. It's
Unsolicited opinions is the part.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Just ask the question and just wait for the response.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then,
let's role play. Come on, you're in the house. You're playing 2K.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be playing 2K with the kids. I would be
Okay,
waiting.
all right. Then
But
fuck
you're
that.
stressed about something.
Yeah, I'm stressed about something.
Pondering. Pretend to ponder.
Okay,
See,
I'm pondering.
She is Did she call you she?
Yeah.
Okay. Sean, no disrespect. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Like, you know I'm not fine. But allowing me to just like have the, because now.
Okay. Run it back.
Because now I'll come back.
Pretend.
Okay, I'm fine.
All right, well, I'm here if you want to talk about it. I'm going to make dinner. And then when the kids go to sleep, if you want to talk about it, if you want to hang out, I'm here. But if you want to go play 2K, that's cool too. I got some work I need to finish up.
There it is. That's all you gotta do.
How did I do?
You
Okay.
did great. Because honestly, every time that she's been like, "Are you okay?" and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good," or like, "I need a minute," I've always gone back to her to talk about it.
And if you keep being like, "Are you okay? Are you
Yeah,
okay?"
yeah.
And then you make
And
it
I'm
about
guilty-
you
and I-
now.
And I'm guilty of that too, though. Like there'll be times where I know she's like processing something, and I'm just like, damn, because I always go into fix it mode. I'm always like, how can? And then a lot of times, like, you know what? I've had to like train myself to be like, let me just fall the fuck back and go do some shit I want to do for myself anyway.
Right. Sometimes it's our mind. Literally, it's not us against us. It's our mind
Yeah.
attacking our mind. Well, thank you so much, Sheed.
Thank y'all, man. Y'all dope.
Okay, so tell us where to find you because we want to
Yes.
follow you. We want to support you. Tell
Tell us
everybody.
about your latest projects and what like we can support first.
Okay, all right. So Rashiid.Marcel, RASHIID.Marcel on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Rashiid Coleman. YouTube is the same thing, Rashiid.Marcel. Latest projects, I just got Solitaire Cash.
Okay.
I'm about to do a project with them. I thought it was fake because the lady was from Israel, but
Okay.
it was legit. I am dropping a video every day starting February 1st.
Wow.
To just kind of
You
like,
about to go blow up.
yeah, I'm gonna do a video every day starting February 1st. Is gonna be leading up to my 37th birthday, 37 things I wish I knew before I turned 37. That'll be dropping. And then I just got a new client to do more podcast work with. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all for giving me this platform to help y'all because, you know, we about to run it up now.
All right, let's get to the money.
And let's be very clear that we are interviewing him and he's actively checking each camera. There's
that's
4
what I
of
keep seeing
them.
you
There's
lean
4
forward.
cameras.
So like, you know, when we ask him to do what to do, he comes and does what he needs to
There's
do.
4 cameras on us right now.
There is.
So like when I was like, "She, can you film us?" Like I got an idea and this is my budget, and the budget was like, "Oh God," and he was like, he didn't even roll his eyes at me. He said, "Oh yeah, no, it's up." And not only did he show up with 1 camera, 2 cameras, 3, he showed up with 4 cameras. So I just want to say we're giving you your flowers. Thank you for
Yes.
being here.
Y'all
Thank
the
you for
best.
having us, and thank you for helping us create this successful platform. And y'all follow Sheed and
Thank you. Make sure
give
y'all
him his
follow
flowers.
Y'all gonna blow up, man. I really see it for y'all. So
I see it for us, too.
I'm excited for y'all, and I can't wait to see who else y'all bring on. This is dope. So
Thank
y'all
you,
got it.
Sheed.
Y'all got it.
Okay, yay. Okay, all right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for our medical minute. So thank you, Sheed.
Yeah, thank y'all.
And today's all about men's health.
Yes.
Men's health.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so we just want to take a few minutes to ask you for what we need from y'all, okay? But to also shout out some amazing brands that we have used today to make ourselves beautiful. So you want to start us off?
Okay, yes. Y'all see how the bob is just
Okay.
bobbing?
Okay.
All right.
Because you won't find us with silk presses
You know,
together
I
often.
snatch your edges and then I help you grow them back. All right. This is Vigor Hair System. Okay. It is a hair growth oil, not just for length, but also for thickness. For my baddies and babes, my men out there with bald spots, holler at this. And if you just want thick, healthy, natural hair, this is that girl and that guy. Okay. You can also put it in your beards. All right. For the guys with the patchy beards. Ew. No shade, but you know. Holler at it. Holler at it. It's
It
natural.
smells good.
Smells good. It's black owned. It's natural. It's vegan. It's organic. And I've been using it for the last 10 years.
Ooh.
I even had it like smuggled in when I lived in the tropics.
Okay, I
Okay.
love
Period. Okay. So Vigor System hair growth oil, link below. Okay.
Okay,
And
real
what
quick,
you
we
got?
forgot something. Come on, Mom.
Oh wait, okay, all right. So we want to feature more brands in our set, on our bodies.
Okay.
All right, in our daily routines, and we want to showcase y'all. All right, we love to collaborate because we know that the power of collaboration
Okay.
is why we're both here
Yeah,
today.
for
Is
sure.
the power of collaboration. So if you have a brand that you'd like featured on Make It Enough Podcast, please shoot us an email to makeitenough.podcast@gmail.com.
Yes, ENUF, make it enough podcast@gmail.com. If you are a stylist, if you are a makeup artist, if you have clothing, if you have scrubs, if you just have a brand, a spa, I don't know, just hit us up, figure it out.
Because
I don't
we're
know.
looking for places to film. We're looking for things to wear. I love clothes, guys. And
Yes.
I really be styling on these hoes. And I can really make anything
Yes,
enough.
for sure.
So we want to feature you. So help us.
Yes.
Help you, boo.
Even an event space or a restaurant, because we'll come eat and film our podcast there.
I love a lemon
Say
pepper.
less.
I love a lemon pepper
Okay,
wing. I'm
all
just
right.
putting that out there.
Okay, so back to our brands.
Okay. And what
Okay.
you got? What you got for us?
Okay, so first of all, my brand, Kinks in Conversation. We have custom name necklaces, and I would love for you guys to all support. And, you know, sometimes remember, support isn't always purchasing. Support
Okay.
is also going on the page, liking things, and or sharing it with your friend. Okay,
Period.
follow my page, Kingston Conversation.
I ordered a Hey Buki one last night, and I'm so excited. No, Hey Buki was too long, so we decided Buki.
Yeah,
Period.
Buki.
Buki.
So you can do anything. You can do any font. We have iced out ones with studs, or we have simple ones with different fonts. So
Ice me out. Ice me out.
Order your necklaces. They last forever. I've been in the tropics with it. I've showered with it every day. I've been in the jungle. Anything. They last. They're very durable.
All right,
Period.
and then let's get into it.
And then, these are our scrubs, okay?
ASMR.
One day at a time scrubs. They sent us these scrubs, and we're going to unbox them in front of you because we're extra, and we love that about ourselves.
Okay, period. Wait, sorry, I'm left-handed. All right, let's do it in the mics today. Rip it. Ooh, we love a box. I love a black box.
And I love that everything is so, like, branded. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
One day at a time. Okay. All right. Oh, that scrubs. Ooh!
Oh, Dad! Oh, she knew.
First
Okay,
of all-
hold up. Sheena and Monique, we appreciate you choosing us. We can't wait to see the content. Here's the content. You create an ODAT scrubs, right? Let us know how you love them. I mean, I already love the boxing, okay? And best of luck on your endeavors, girl. We don't need luck, okay? We need grace. We need abundance. We need prosperity. We need magic. We need prayer. We need opulence. We need let's get into it.
I just appreciate that you're adding to our magic. First of all, she sent us pens. I love a letter. It's branded.
Fuck that, I'm putting my drink in here now. Wait, I probably should rinse it out first.
Let's open our scrubs. Here,
But it's so pretty. It has thank you on it.
I know.
It smells
But we
good.
have to
It don't
open it so
even
we
smell
can
like
wear
the
it.
stuff from Shein. You
No,
know how I be like,
no.
it don't smell like
It
that.
smell
It don't
like-
got the. It
It,
don't.
it smells like she cares.
It doesn't look like this was made in a factory.
That's
by
clearly
children.
yours. You're small.
That's mine. I got a bigger booty than you.
Oh, it's so pretty. Come on, Odette. I love a company that know how to do the damn thing.
Ooh,
It's so pretty.
Oh, that is all that. All right, hold on. What yours say?
Sheena Williams, RN, BSN, because don't play with her, okay? And it says Nurse Bay, and then under it says Make It Enough Podcast. It's
All right.
embroidered, y'all, so that means
It's
that
embroidered.
it can't
Not
wash
iron
off.
on, not iron on.
This is sewn that way.
Period. Ooh, I love the color. It
Yeah,
goes
and
with
it's
that.
very
Ooh, it
soft.
looks nice with your skin tone.
Thank you. You too, girlfriend, with your
Okay.
brown skin so. We talked about that.
Don't start with me. Okay.
Okay.
Mine says Monique Dowdy, not Doherty. She spelled it right. Everybody
Yes,
gets mine wrong.
yes.
RN BSN period.
Okay.
$100,000 later. All
Okay.
right. Nurse Mo, Make It Enough podcast. Nurse Mo, because ask about me. Google me. Google it.
Period.
Google it.
Okay.
Let's
You ready
get
to do our
into
medical
this.
minute?
Okay.
Let's change.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're here with our medical minute and our ODAT scrubs. Period. And our ODAT scrubs cup.
ODAT scrubs.
So we're here, and we just want to talk to you real quick about the things that affect the men's, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is our prostate. And a lot of people don't know what a prostate is, okay? So the prostate is a gland that's at the base of the bladder, okay? For the men's. And basically it nourishes sperm, it protects sperm. The problem is by the time men are about the age of 50, 50% of men have BPH, which is an enlarged prostate.
Or benign
Yes, okay?
prostate.
And the issue is that a lot of men don't know the signs and the symptoms. And a lot of men also don't get tested and go to the doctors to take care of it. So, symptoms. Your stream. Having a weak stream, your urine starting or stopping.
It sounds like
Yes. And if you feel like you got to push, straining, okay? Urgency, which means you go a lot. So if you wake up more than twice a night to pee, now if you just drink some water, we're not talking to you. Talking about people who literally are just going frequently, and a lot of times it's not even a lot of urine, okay? And we want you guys to know that, first of all, your primary is your first resource when it comes to your prostate, and your primary will lead you to somewhere else if you need it. But by age 40 to 45, you should be talking to your doctor about testing your prostate. If you are an African-American man, you need to be going closer to 40 if you have a history of cancer in your family, okay?
or unknown.
Yes.
Like if you have a unpresent parent.
Yeah.
And you are not sure of your family
Right.
history, just go ahead and lean with the side of likely.
Yeah, you'll never go wrong by just talking to your doctor about your issues. And if they don't listen, go somewhere else, because that's also something I feel like black men have issues with, is that they'll go to their primary, they don't feel heard, and then they just let it go. No. Some of our risk factors go obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, smoking, drinking.
And my favorite one, stress.
Yes.
Underlying factor for every
Yep.
disease.
Stress. Okay. Let's do erectile dysfunction.
Oh, goodness, that's a one. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, Bookies, listen up, okay? Erectile dysfunction affects how many percent of men?
Too many.
Way too
Too
many.
many.
And, there's a lot of different indicators for erectile dysfunction, and normally they come with another disease, coupled by another disease.
Yeah.
And it's a side effect of many medications, many blood pressure medications. So I always recommend for men, like one of my brother had to get on blood pressure medicine.
Right.
And I was like, hey, if you don't pull your shit together, your dick's going to stop working. And it was just that simple. And he was like, I'm pulling. Next thing I know that he was in the gym. It was
great incentive.
It really was.
Great incentive.
It really was. I was like, hey, if you end up having to get on this for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, well, what about other ones? I was like, pretty much all of them. The pressure
Yeah.
goes down.
Yep.
So the pressure goes
Yep.
down.
Yep.
So I want to keep that as an incentive for the men out there to keep your blood pressure low, to eat
Yeah.
a balanced diet, to maintain
Yep.
their health, and also to look into running,
Yeah.
yoga, deep breathing. I'm always going to give you the non-pharmacological
Yeah.
intervention. You know
Yep.
me. So I wanted you guys to think about the preventative measures or the
Yeah.
reversal measures, such as
Yeah.
doing a plant-based diet.
Stop drinking.
Stop drinking.
Yes.
Heavy on the stop drinking.
Alcohol. And I know for my ganja smokers, I get it. But yeah, you too.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, any type of smoking, because remember, it's blood flow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's blood flow. Remember, an erection is just a whole bunch of blood being sent to your pee-pee. That's
Okay.
all that it is, right? So if there is an issue with the blood flow due to some type of, restriction of blood flow, that's what happens.
I also want to note that it's an actual health issue and there's no shame in that. And
Absolutely.
there are many workarounds for that. But I would like to note that with erectile dysfunction comes a lot of mental issues
Yeah.
and a lot of social and emotional
Yeah.
concerns. So mental health is key.
Well, it's also caused by mental health.
Yeah.
If you're depressed, if you're stressed out, it causes erectile dysfunction. And believe it or not, studies show that if you are in a stressful relationship, it can cause ED because of like your anxiety or stress associated with that person.
Wow.
So therapy is one of the biggest ways to treat erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
And a penis pump, which I've worked with penis pumps before. And
Me
it's
too.
actually
It's
quite
really cool. I had a 90-year-old man with a penis
You just
pump.
squeeze the balls and,
I
it
was
just
like,
goes
and
like
it
this.
just
And it's like, okay, sorry. We're
so
nurses.
that's there for you.
We're nurses. Sorry, this is what we do.
We're nurses. There's no shame in it.
No shame at all. And talk to people. I just feel like instead of shaming people or feeling like, oh, I can't talk to her about this because you're just making it worse. Now we're not having sex and then it's just like, what's going on. Talk to your partner, talk to your doctor, and try to see if you can get help.
I want to talk about another thing that will
Okay.
weigh on a man's stress, confidence, etc. is hair loss. And in early May, I'll be offering platelet-rich plasma for
Awesome.
men to help with hair restoration. So you'll be able to heal from your own body. I'll be frequenting different barbershops. I'll be having my own space as well. So that is a great way to naturally treat as well as minoxidil, but that can lead to some other
Yep.
underlying issues. So hair loss and hair restoration is something I'm so passionate
Yeah.
about, especially with men because it impacts their overall mental health and confidence.
I love that.
So
I'm
yeah.
so for the men's today.
Yeah, I love men.
Okay, we want to shout out a few black doctors.
Okay, but hold up,
Okay.
real quick though. When I was
Yes.
scouring the internet for the black men doctors in wellness, it was very stressful for me because
sorry,
they're underrepresented. I just so passionate about
Okay.
the wellness space. It was either
Well, it starts with us.
It does.
It
but
starts with us.
Listen,
Okay, all right.
they were either full on hotep where they're talking about like fucking like sperm retention and shit like that, or they were like, I'm a CRNA and I put you to sleep and I go to the gym.
So we want mid-ground.
We found mid-ground. We
Okay.
found some balanced men. So let's just go back and forth. Let's go head for head.
Okay. So one of my favorite doctors on the internet is Dr. Italo Brown. His Instagram is GR8, like the number 8 vision. And he actually is an ER physician. He's the bomb.com. He actually is really big into black men's mental health. And he also used to actually do like, checkups on men in the barbershop.
Oh, that's
where
so
they
dope.
would go, right?
That's really
so dope.
cool.
Okay, you go now.
Okay, so mine, and these are black men's. Okay, these are black men, and I just want to keep that up with y'all. So I have Jeremy Wooten. He's a good friend of mine. Did many events with him. He's a psychiatric nurse practitioner. We love NPs, and he's a father, marathon runner, and Omega man as well.
Okay.
Then we have Dr. Victory. He's right here in Pennsylvania. He's a chiropractor. He'll get your neck back, all of
Period.
that correct and
Period.
together. And then my last but not least favorite is Los Angel Oils and Butters. He is a skincare and aesthetic
Okay, my last
specialist.
one, Dr. Justin S. Hopkins. He is actually a psych doctor, okay? Psychologist. His Instagram is Dr. J. Hopkins, okay?
And we're going to list them all below. So, yes, go get your health check, men.
Okay, so Medical Minute, we love y'all. Shout out to all the black men and the men in our lives.
Period.